Is it mental as much as anything, the problems you're facing now? Mental more than tactical, maybe?
I think, especially in the last game, and you can see it that in the first half, our possessions were really a little bit slow. The position is there, and we are like losing balls without any strong pressure from the opponent. I think we have to improve on that. I think is a lot of our mistakes are mental, and if you are confident, we have players with quality that can play a different, no matter what the system or the way of playing of the coach outside. I think is clearly a mental thing, and also a lack of confidence playing football.
We'll get back to Ruben Amorim in just a quick second, but remember, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and also don't forget to click the notification button so that you know when the next Big D video hits. And also, don't forget, if you've got something to say, if something is bubbling up inside of you that you need to express, please put it in the comments. The Big D reads all of the comments. Anyway, in this clip, our illustrious manager, Ruben Amorim, is going to be talking about his struggles at Manchester United. And it's a recent interview over the past few days, and he's going to be opening up on what's been going on at Manchester United and what he thinks the issues are with the team and why we're not winning. And yeah, so stick around after the clip, because the Big D is going to be giving his thoughts on this calamitous situation. And yeah, and there's an opportunity for you to post in the comments about your thoughts, which the Big D loves to read. Anyway, here's Ruben.
So what's top of the to-do list at the moment? Or is that just too much for you to sort of order it like that?
Everything is connected. So in the moment you want to improve the way you play, but then you have to see if you have all the players to do that. And then you have that feeling that you need to win no matter what, and sometimes we take something from our idea and keep it to a new day, and when things are more calm, and focus a lot on the opponent and try to win that game to create the momentum, and then to return to the moment that you were explaining the way you want to play. So in this moment, I think it's to win games. That is the key point in the moment.
So from what you're saying there, is it mental as much as anything, the problems you're facing now? Mental more than tactical, maybe?
I think, especially in the last game, and you can see it that in the first half, our possessions were really a little bit slow. The position is there, and we are like losing balls without any strong pressure from the opponent. I think we have to improve on that. I think is a lot of our mistakes are mental, and if you are confident, we have players with quality that can play a different, no matter what the system or the way of playing of the coach outside. I think is clearly a mental thing, and also a lack of confidence playing football.
So, I mean, you've been asked about the system hundreds and hundreds of times already. Do you feel like what you want of the players tactically, physically, this group, maybe with a few additions in transfer windows to come, they can do it, but it's up here as much.
I think is a normal system. Of course, some of them didn't play in this system with three defenders. But if you look at some games, we play in the 4-4-2 defending. We did it last game. But sometimes it's more with the possession, the way we can handle the ball, and we show in some of the biggest games that we can do it. And the system was like normal. And it was the same, and then in some games we have a lack of confidence. It's harder for us. I understand that when we are a little bit the underdogs, we are more comfortable. When you have to assume the game, we lack that spirit of we need to win, so we must do everything, and we need to win no matter what this game when we struggle in that moment. So I understand the momentum of the players, and especially the moment of the club. So it's really hard, this situation. We are doing everything to change it.
Do you have the sense at the moment that the players completely believe in the direction that, you know, when you're speaking to them in the changing room, when you're out in the training pitches behind us, do you think they completely get what you want, they're on board with what you want, or do you still feel a little bit like you're trying to convince them?
Yeah, every day you try to convince your players. I think you convince your players not just the way you speak and you show, and that I'm really clear on the direction that I want the players to do, but winning games and to have that feeling that we are playing really well with the ball. You are pushing the opponent for his own half. This is the things they will be convinced by. That it's not just words. And I understand that I was a football player for a long time. I think I know that they want, but I'm still convincing them that they should play this kind of ball.
So what is it? It's 20 games in charge now, around 4 months. Does it feel like a lot longer?
Yeah, yes, because it's ups and downs. It's a fight every day with everything. With a lot of media, then you have to cope with a lot of games in 2 days, and then when you are in this club, in any club, but in this club, and you cannot push for a lot of winnings in a row, you are always fighting, and that can be exhausted for not just for me, for everybody in the club and for the players. So we need to keep fighting and to focus just in the small things. And for me, the small thing is the next game. I'm really focused on the next game.
Do you really feel the weight of it, the responsibility to get this club back on its feet? I mean, you just walked in, you spoke to a young Manchester United fan when you walked into the room here, and you said, "Oh, sorry about right now." Does it feel like there's so many supporters of this huge football club. Do you feel the burden? Do you feel the weight of it being your job, basically, to get Manchester United somewhere near where they were?
No, it's an honor. But when you have that feeling in the funeral of Dennis Law, Kathy, the memorial of Monique, to face the fans in this kind of moments for me is really hard because they are so nice and they believe a lot in what we're trying to do, and they feel it that I want to help the club. But the hardest part is to face the fans in this moment. It's really hard to face the fans, but I'm doing everything to help my players in the club to be or to return in that position. Is going to take a lot of time. And people are tired of listening that for many coaches here, but we are in the very, very difficult situation. But we have to carry on, and to carry on, like I said, is the small things. It's trying to win the next game and then surviving this season.
I wonder if in Ange Postecoglou you see a kind of a fellow traveller, if you like, maybe different principles, but another guy completely dedicated, devoted to his principles. I did an interview with him a few weeks ago and I read your quote to him where you said if a coach changes, he's dead. You said something like that, and he was like, absolutely, couldn't agree more. So do you see a guy in Ange Postecoglou who's maybe different in what he wants, but similar in his conviction?
I'm a huge fan of Ange, and I told him that, and I told that before the game for the Cup, Carabao Cup. I think he's right, but I feel that I'm a coach that I change a lot to win games, and but I certain things I don't compromise. That is clear for me, and I feel that with Ange is the same thing, and that is I think if you look at to all the coaches that are here in English, all the top coaches, they are a little bit like that in different areas, but they don't compromise in certain things, and I'm one of them.
I know you've addressed this before. How important is that? So say the players came to you and said, "Look, we were thinking maybe we adjust this, maybe we adjust that, whether it's formation or anything. No, we can't. You can't have that
because it's a hard situation. I will never change because a player is saying that. I will change everything if I feel that I'm closer to win games doing that. And to win games, everybody has to believe. When I feel that they don't believe, or the club don't believe, or we are stuck, I will be the first one to say that it has to be a different person. And until then, I'm going to do my thing. It's not about the system, because I said that with time to work on this system can adapt to everything, and that is my goal. But for that we need trainings, we need to also different profiles, but everybody knows the situation of the club, that we arrive here in the middle of the season with a lot of games. And then the biggest thing, when you don't win, if you are winning, everything is so much easier. With the same time, with the same media, with the same problems, it should be so easier. But then we had some problems in the first moment with a lot of losses, and then it's really hard to turn things around.
Well. It is a very, very weird season. It is. It's frustrating as well. And it doesn't have to be this way. It just doesn't. I mean, it's right in what he says there. There does seem to be sort of a mental issue with the players, because it can't be the tactics, because there have been instances where the players have played really well. Individually and as a team. I think back to the Liverpool game. I think back to the City game. I think back to, we battered Everton at home. That was a good game. Even against Spurs, I've said before, I didn't think we played too badly, really. We just couldn't score. So I just feel as though there has been talent there. But at the same time, I just feel as though Ruben Amorim has shown a lot of naivety unnecessarily. I mean, he signed, what was his contract? He signed a 3 or 4 year contract or something like that? And he's just come in and changed so much too soon, and he's obviously put people's nose out of joint far too early, and I just get the sense that it didn't have to be this way, because he could have kept Rashford on side initially and then shipped him out in the summer. He could have just let him, play up front and hit teams on the counter-attack, because fair enough, he was lazy, he didn't seem to put the effort in, but he still did manage to score. So he could have utilised that and just slowly, weeded him out over the course of the season. But he's taken a sledgehammer to a situation that needed a lockpick, I feel. And I feel as though Casemiro should be playing more, because a team that's in this poor form needs experienced heads to sort of pull them out of it. Now, I understand that he's long past his prime. That's fine. But he still does have something to offer, even if it's just experience. And I get that you can't have Casemiro and Eriksen in midfield. I understand that. But Ugarte next to Casemiro would be a fantastic central midfield partnership. It would. You don't have to play them every single match, but play him a little bit more. Fergie used to play his, like Paul Scholes when he was 35, 36, 37. And you could argue, but that's Paul Scholes, that's not Casemiro. But Casemiro's won 5 Champions Leagues. That's 3 more than Paul Scholes. You know, he's won plenty of league titles himself. He's a legend of the game himself that could be spoken of alongside the names of, say, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane, and all those guys. I mean, just look at their compare each of their trophy cabinets. You know, they've all won a lot of trophies there. So the way Casemiro's kind of being shoehorned out of the team, it just seems a little bit unnecessary. Eriksen, yeah, I don't have a problem with how Eriksen's being used because, yeah, you can't play a player like that in central midfield, not in this particular formation. You could maybe play him in one of those number 10 positions, you know, for the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes of a game. That's fair enough. His dead ball expertise, you know, will be very handy as well. But, yeah, it's... A great team is made over time unless you are given hundreds of millions of pounds to spend all at once. And even then, it's not, you know, guaranteed. I mean, when Jose Mourinho took over at Chelsea, you know, fair enough, he spent a lot of money relative for the time, at the time, but he still had the spine of the team already there. He still had John Terry, he still had Frank Lampard in that team. You know, Johnson was there at the time as well, and he was a very good player for Jose Mourinho, and I'm almost certain there was many more that were already at the team at the time. I mean, you look at Pep Guardiola when he took over at Man City. Yeah, he spent a lot of money. They threw money at him. Fair enough, they did. But just like Jose Mourinho, you know, said famously in that press conference that went viral, heritage, football heritage. Pep Guardiola inherited Kevin De Bruyne, Sergio Aguero, Otamendi. Was David Silva already there as well? You know, that's not a bad spine to have in your team. Vincent Kompany was there as well. You know, so, and then, you know, obviously he spent a lot of money on top of that. But I don't know, it feels as though, well, I mean, have Man United got a spine? I mean, the closest that we've had to a spine was probably under Ollie, when we had De Gea, we had Maguire, we had Scott McTominay, we had Bruno Fernandes, and we had Marcus Rashford. And they all played well for Ollie, to be fair. They did. I mean, a second and a third finish over the course of 2 seasons was a good return from considering the team that we had. But then, since then, I mean, Ralf Rangnick was just, you know, silly. And then Eric Ten Hag's come in and alienated everyone. And he's replaced David De Gea with a lesser version of him. All right, he brought in De Ligt, that's fine. He brought in Martinez, that's fine. They brought in an ageing Casemiro for 80 million. He could have got Ugarte for less than that at the time. And well, yeah, he did really well initially, actually, Eric Ten Hag, and then, you know, he changed the formation he changed the tactics to make sure that he changed the tactics to a style that didn't suit what he already had. But then again, I mean, what's going on? Because Anthony has gone to Real Betis and he got three man of the matches in 3 games or something like that, and 3 goals and 2 assists. What's going on? Marcus Rashford's been playing well for Aston Villa. So what's the common denominator? I mean, these are 2 players that we could have used. What's the common denominator? Now, you could say, well, it's Man United. Well, fair enough, but Man United is just, you know, the bricks and mortars of the situation. It's the people who are interacting with the players. And the people who are acting with Anthony and with Marcus Rashford is the coaching and the management. So Marcus Rashford has played well under certain circumstances, and he's not played well under different circumstances. So what's the common denominator? It's got to be the coaches. It's got to be the manager. Now, it just feels as though, like, the thing is with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he was a very good man manager, right? And he got the best out of the players that he had at the time. Erik Ten Hag, it's come out now, especially with the Rafa Varane situation, that he doesn't seem to be a good man manager. Ruben Amorim hasn't been able to be. It's becoming more and more clear that he doesn't seem to be a good man manager, because you make the best with what you've got and you slowly implement your ideas over time. He's just coming in and it's just too much for the players. I've said it a million times. He could have kept Van Nistelrooy on, played 4-2-3-1 or whatever it was, and just eased in the 3-4-3 over the course of the season. It would have bought him time, less stress. He'd have won some games. Probably got the best out of Rashford. Anthony probably would have played better. Højlund probably would have been scoring. Bruno would have been scoring. But the whole situation is weird. And it's all well and good, well, he needs backed. Man United have backed every manager. They've backed every manager. Everyone. They backed Erik Ten Hag. They backed Ole. They backed Mourinho. They backed Louis van Gaal. The only difference between now and all of those other instances, I feel, is that we've actually got a footballing project in place now. So they're not going to spend silly money on players that they don't feel are worth it. And I'm telling you now, there's no way Manchester United are suffering from PSR as bad as what they're making out. That is a tactical move by Manchester United to make everyone think that they don't have any money. So it strengthens Manchester United's negotiation position when it comes to transfers. I'm telling you, because Man United sell too many shirts, they get too much television rights, they've got too much merchandise, too many sponsors, too many affiliates, too much cash flow revenue for them to be struggling this bad. I'm not saying that they're not struggling a little bit. I don't think it's as bad as what it's making out. I don't think it is. I don't think it is at all. But anyway, what do you guys think? A little bit of a moan today from the Big D. But the Big D's trying to figure out what's going on at Manchester United, because as far as I can see it didn't have to be this way. It's a mess now. I don't know how Ruben Amorim is going to make how he's going to make how he's going to make anything good from the situation. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know how he's going to do it, because the team needs goals and our best scorer has been let go. So unless he tactically adjusts, which he's not going to do, I can't see it. I just can't see it. I feel like the Ruben Amorim tipping point has already passed. I think the writing's on the wall for Ruben Amorim. I'm not saying Man United should sell him, but I think Ineos probably will sell him, sack him, that is. I don't know. I'm not sure, because if they're going to stick with him, they need to back him in the summer. But it's a question of, are they going to wait until the summer to back him? Will there be anything to back in the summer? Will Man United get relegated? I just can't see anything positive at Old Trafford at the moment. I just can't. So yeah, anyway. But what do you guys think of the situation? What can Ruben Amorim do to fix it? Thoughts in the comments, and the Big deal. See you in the next one.